Hello, everybody. We are live again. 2 days to go till fight night. Joshua versus Dubois. The press conference, the final press conference, should I say, is just finished. Myself, Jay's Fight Talk, and Liam Tully are going to get into what we've seen tonight. We'll probably start on the undercard for a couple of minutes until we build up to Joshua and we have our audience with us. How are we, boys, first of all?
Tip top, man. Really excited. Started to feel excited now.
Yeah.
I've been buzzing all week. So every little event, every little face-off, every time we see any of the fighters on this card together, it just gets me buzzing even more. Can't wait. 2 days to go.
Definitely. There was some, I guess I'll come to both of you. We'll break down most of what we saw on. We'll start obviously with the undercard press conference, but I'll put the same question to you both and then I'll answer it myself. Anything surprise you about the undercard press conference? Anybody? Because there was a little bit of needling in a couple of the fights. Yeah, let's start with Ish Davis and Jay's Fight Talk.
Ishmael Davis, he brought the fire. God bless him. You know, short notice fight. No disrespect, we're off already. Not a lot of people know him outside of, you know, real boxing hardcores. He's not a known name to the casual as such. I hate using that phrase, but you know, we are boxing nerds. We watch any fight, small halls or the big glamour shows. With shows like this, I may be way off with numbers, but I see like 50% of the people that are watching it ordinarily wouldn't tune. So they wouldn't tune into a York Hall show, for example, or even an O2. You know, if Boazzi and Hutchinson were headlining a show, you wouldn't have half the people that are tuning in tonight watching that. So what I'm saying is Ishmael Davis, at first I thought it was nervous energy, but I think he thought about what he was going to do, and I think he did it on purpose because he stood out for me out of that whole press conference. Yeah. I know Willie Hutchinson did what Willie Hutchinson does and pressed every button and every nerve that Boazzi has, and we expected that, but he was reserved as such, whereas Ishmael Davis just started with the fire from the second Dev's Queensbury asked him a question.
Big up, Jam, thanks for joining us. Yes, Liam, just on Ish Davis, do you think that was good evening, DJ Pat, as well? Thanks for joining us, mate. Do you think that was premeditated by Ish to stick it right on Josh Kelly?
Yeah.
Look at it like this. Ish has had no time to sell himself. He's had no time to... Turkey knows his name because he's the one he was calling up for the fight, but he doesn't know who Ishmael Davis is.
The advertisement, isn't it?
A lot of the audience don't know who Ishmael Davis is, so he's gone right in at the deep end. And Josh Kelly's trying to say hello to Dev. We'll minimise talking about Dev. He's trying to exchange pleasantries with Dev, and Ish is straight in there sticking it on him, and I love it. Because that's what he's got to do on fight night. What he's done with his mouth fight, he's got to do with his fists on Saturday night. He's got to get in there on Josh as soon as that bell goes. Because bloody hell, if Josh is that uncomfortable with someone talking to him and there's a bit decent gap between them, he's not going to want to fight in a phone box, is he?
No.
It's fantastic. You're right. It's free advertisement for him.
100%.
He done exactly what I hoped he would do. I wasn't sure if Ishmael Davis would stick it on him to that extent. I thought, we might get one or two little barbs. No. If Dev couldn't get a word in edgeways, which was beautiful for 5 minutes, a bit piecing.
Josh Kelly's not. He's not comfortable with that kind of.
He's not a talker, Josh Kelly. He's not.
Troy Williams.
He fabricated it, didn't he, against Troy? But even that was.
Troy did a little bit of sort of getting at him, and you can see he goes so far as Josh, but then sort of you can see he's uncomfortable.
He hasn't
with
got the gift of the gab at all, Josh Kelly. He's just bland. He's just bland. Like Ish said, he's pretty boy. You know, you ain't come for
you know who Josh was looking for. He kept looking out, didn't he, into the crowd for Adam Booth. He needed Adam Booth to hold his hands and help him through it. Adam's the one with the mouth. Adam's the one that can steer the conversation.
Adam Booth and his fighters, like the relationship that they have, and you know, I'm not in the camp, so I don't know, but like Michael Conlon seemed to have that kind of relationship with him too. It's almost like he's like plays the big brother role too much. You know.
Can you just Jam's comment there? They did the bump fist. They didn't shake hands. They touched.
They had a fist bump.
Yeah, it wasn't a disrespect thing. I think Ishii went for the handshake, and Josh had already put his fist out, so they bumped fist. I definitely saw that.
A lot of the fighters have been saying this week, if you look at Boazzi and AJ, they've worn gloves at everything all week.
You don't want to be getting an infection.
they've said this is more media, more interaction, more people than we see on fight weeks normally. Even AJ said that, and think how many massive fight weeks he's had. So they're doing everything they can to protect themselves. You've lost Liam Smith from this card due to a virus, which is what we've been told. You don't want to lose anyone this close to
and Don Charles. Big up Wayne for joining us as always, mate. Thank you.
Just following on from Liam mentioning Liam Smith, I know we spoke about it sort of instant reaction when Liam was sort of withdrawn from the show, and I was really disappointed because that was the fight that really got my juices flowing. I've now got that excitement back now. You know, Ishii's gone in there with a bit of fire. Tyler Denny was, I love Tyler Denny. He was the most disrespectful It was like me. I think he's modelling himself on me. He was disrespectfully respectful.
He smiled.
I like Tyler Denny tonight. I agree, Jay.
It
was good.
It was not. You can't dislike Tyler Denny. He was broke. He was a broke bin man, a jobbing boxer that's took his opportunities and ran with them. And he has got the European, is he European, British and Commonwealth champion?
Just European.
Just European.
Yeah. But he can win Commonwealth on Saturday.
Brad Pauls is British.
He's had some massive fights. He's managed to move him and his family out of his one-bedroom bloody flat, you know, and he's made life-changing money. He's in the big leagues now, you know, and it's for him now to either cement his place as being deserving. Because let's be right, there are people, not us, but there are people out there saying that, you know, he's cannon fodder and he doesn't really deserve to be there. He's the champion, you know. Hamza Shiraz, for all the plaudits and praise that he gets, he doesn't bring anything to the table other than his name, you know, being a prospect.
WBC ranking, his number one ranking. That's what he brings to the
table. And he's highly rated with a W. He's number one with a WBO as well.
I was being flippant when I said that, but what I mean is people are quick to disregard Tyler Denny. Tyler Denny's doing it the hard way. Tyler Denny's the champion going into this.
I'll tell you what, Jay, as well, how it's worked out because Hamza Shiraz is the Riyadh season ambassador and he's Turkey's best mate. Tyler Denny's chief support to Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois. What a story that is.
It is massive. I don't know if it's like UFC. Do they get pay-per-view?
No, I wouldn't say so. They'll just be on massive
but they're on big money out there, you know. And I'm really, really excited for this show. I was excited anyway because it's a big show. But what I'm saying is the initial disappointment from Liam Smith falling off has been replaced now. This press conference, I was expecting it to be a damp squib. I thought it's just going to be vanilla. They're going to be really respectful. There might be a bit of shit talk between Hutchinson and Buatsi, but they were pretty civil, really. Buatsi wasn't getting drawn in. He's had enough. He just wants to fight now, doesn't he?
I think you're right, mate. I was similar to you, and I think we said on a few messages just between us how gutted we were. Liam Smith's out. Bugger, right? That's the spark of the undercard gone. But it's picked back up now. You just mentioned all these fighters on massive purses. Big up Mark Chamberlain's new teeth. And here's my sunglasses. White as anything. Jesus.
Turkey season. No, I'm not on about Turkey a la Sheikh, His Excellency. I'm talking about Turkey.
Well, if we can get some decent sponsorship, you will see Jay's Fight Talk with new teeth and a flowing fringe in the next couple of months.
I thought it was Joey Essex up there on the stage.
They weren't discreet, to say the less, were they?
No, they weren't. But look, on the subject of Buatsi, just quickly, so I saw Jam's comment that you had up a minute ago. You say he's had enough. You say he's fed up. The Buatsi vibe, I felt the same when I saw his...
He's been off all week.
He's been off all week, and look, he's made
dead at the weight.
He's either dead at the weight or he's going over to America too late.
I just think he's pissed off. He's had to deal with Eddie Hearn. We saw that awkward backstage.
That was hilarious,
didn't we? That he really didn't want to do.
He's been off for 2 years.
I think he's really got the bit between his teeth that people are actually questioning that Willie Hutchinson could beat him. Because he should. The Olympic cycle that Buatsi and Josh Kelly was on Olympic
from the same Olympic Games.
But both of them should now have either boxed for a world title or should be world champions. They've both flattered to deceive for different reasons, you know. But I think Buatsi's pissed off that people are questioning him, and I think that is just not playing ball with the media. He's never been the most exciting character anyway, has he? He's never really been.
I think Willie's right under his skin.
100%.
I'll say this as well for Josh. You're right. He's not giving anything to the media. He's just business. I can put £5 or what we'll say after the weigh-in tomorrow. Locks in now. I'm going to shave my hair. I'm going to shave my beard.
Glory to God.
Yeah, he'll say all that stuff. But I will say this as well. Has he flown in from America too late? He only flew in on Sunday night. Now he's an athlete, so they can get over jet lag in different ways. I'm not trying to make an excuse.
Yeah.
Has he left it too late?
Valid point, though, Liam.
He was midway through last week.
I mean, he was off at the face-off, wasn't he? And that were recorded 5 weeks ago, I think, 4 or 5 weeks ago.
By his own admission, he flew in just to do that press conference to go back out. He was already a trainer.
So it's a very similar vibe then, isn't it, Liam? It could be that, mate.
I am wondering if he is absolutely messed up when he's got in. He's had to stay out with Virgil Hunter late. Sorry.
If there is something to do with fights, you can always expect a live from the
boys.
I
was going to say it's not unexpected anymore, Dan. We can't keep away.
And I will say this, boys. I'm all right because I came home with a cuddly toy for the little one and 2 bunches of flowers, mate.
Oh, there you go. That's how you get away with a live.
The doghouse.
I cooked, so I'm sweet as well.
You cooked.
I'm all in.
Sam, you got a lot to live up to, mate.
I do have the dog next to me trying to get some attention.
We got a mascot this evening. Dev Sarni, biggest shit stirrer ever yet. Dan, you're absolutely right. He can't help himself, can he? Dev with his Queensbury bias.
He's on the IBO payroll. He's the only one that counts as an IBO champion.
Anthony Kakachi, the champ.
Oh,
Dubois Jr. is going to be taking him to nightclubs and giving one of his 2 belts next. It'll be lovely.
Oh, Jesus.
He can't hide his bias, can he? It's really, really cringy for me.
If there's one other thing from the undercard I want to pick up, Josh Padley. I liked it. He stuck it on Mark Chamberlain.
Yeah, he's there to fight, man.
I'm your toughest opponent. The only reason no one's given me my props is because I've only fought in the small halls. He's not disrespecting the small halls, but he's fully aware that because he hasn't fought on TV before, because he's not attached to any one promoter, of course he's the underdog. And let's be honest, we could be reviewing this on Sunday, Monday, going, we underestimated Padley there. Maybe he is the guy. Maybe I'm happy
to admit that I have underestimated him. I've already said on a couple of our recordings that he was a layup. And, it's there to make Chamberlain look good. He's Turkey's, favourite fighter, etc. But Padley's not there to make the numbers up. The way he spoke tonight, he's going to go in there
he's
to win.
Opportunity of a lifetime.
I don't think he will, but I'm more interested in the fight tonight than I was this time yesterday, just off the back of what he said at the press conference.
Padley looked overwhelmed on Tuesday at Leicester Square for me. When he made that walk down the purple carpet, it was almost like, what the heck am I doing here? This isn't me.
Sorry. I'm sorry, Liam.
Go on.
Dan, you'll have to put Dan's comment up when Liam's finished. Sorry, Liam.
It's up.
I did tell you yesterday, Dan.
Here we go.
Dan eating some humble pie.
Your apology.
I think all three of us are the same, didn't we? So we'll accept you on Andy's behalf.
He knows his stuff. He knows his stuff as well. He's not.
He's switched on. But no, Padley looked uncomfortable on Tuesday. I didn't watch his workout live yesterday, but I watched it back this morning, and he looked more comfortable at the workout. And now today he's in his element. I think he's someone that just
growing into it.
Well, they spent all day Monday doing media with every country you can think of under the sun and every outlet out there. So Monday probably took a lot out of him, and now he's found his feet. He won't have any more media to do really, apart from after the weigh-in tomorrow. I do think that's going to be a better fight to start the night than we all gave credit for, and I wrote him off on my own show as well. I'll happily admit that I openly wrote him off on my show, but he looks up for it, and that is because we don't see him enough. We shouldn't disrespect a small hall fighter, but we have.
Should have been Chamberlain versus Noakes or Chamberlain versus Brand.
Yeah, it should have been, but unfortunately,
I think Chamberlain will blow him away in a few rounds, boys. He's talking a good game, Padley, but it's levels.
Yeah, but we have seen things like this happen before, haven't we?
Yeah.
And, Padley might have the night of his life, and it only takes. I've just heard something as I was driving home that might be very relevant. So they referenced. Carl Froch, I don't know if anybody knows, he boxed in front of 80,000 people at Wembley. I don't know if anybody's heard it. He doesn't talk about it much, but yeah, my mate Carl, anyway, my pal Froch, he said that what he wasn't ready for
the cold air.
There you go.
Yeah.
He said, and it completely threw him off. He managed to get it back, but Carl is used to fighting in not crowds like that, but he boxed at Nottingham Ice Arena, he's boxed in Vegas, he's boxed in New York. So he's boxed in big crowds, hostile, and where they're all backing him. But he said it threw him off. I'm wondering if we might see strange performances because, you know, if it might rain a little bit tomorrow and they're slipping on the ring walks and, you know, there could be other external elements that make for a Padley win, for example. You know, Chamberlain could freeze and Padley could have the night of his life. I'm expecting some shocks, 1 or 2 shocks on this card.
Mate, I completely agree with you. A lot of things can throw off a lot of fighters, and for all we've seen from Mark Chamberlain this year, looking fantastic in his 2 stoppage victories, they're against a certain level of opposition. Now, we're not saying Padley's a massive step up, but equally, this is the best opponent Padley's ever fought, so he's going to bring his levels up as well.
Yeah.
I think, you know, mate, I do agree. The form book says Chamberlain should blow him away inside 3 or 4 rounds, but Padley's giving me something that makes me think this is going to be a more competitive fight.
I hope he does for the pacing. It's going to be a hell of a long night, if not. We'll move into the main event once we've gone through a couple of the comments. Kakachi Warrington, actually, we'll maybe do just a couple of minutes on this. Dan said, think it'll be fight of the night. I think I'm settled on that as well. I think Kakachi Warrington's going to be a war.
I've changed him. I think Kakachi will just smash him to pieces now. I just think Warrington's just done, and I just don't think super featherweight. I think it's too big for him. I think Kakachi's just going to overroar him. Yeah, I do.
I think it'll be a bit like the Wood fight. I think Warrington will start quick and get on top, but I think Kakachi will wear him down.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to blitz Kakachi. He's got really fast hands. I just don't think he hits hard enough.
He's criminally underrated, Kakachi. You know, he's unbelievably good.
When he turned over, I always remember Carl Frampton really big.
They all rave about him.
But then he's had a couple of losses, hasn't he? And he's had some injuries and.
He's only lost once.
He's had the loss. But what I meant is he's had a couple of questionable performances where he's not really the best, and I think people have based him on that.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think Cordina overlooked him. I expected Cordina to just beat him. I didn't expect him to stop him, but I thought he'd outpoint him. I thought it was too slick for him. I just think he's going to be too big. I think he's too fresh. I don't like the fight for Warrington. You know, like you say, it might start like the Wood fight. He could get 3 or 4 rounds in front because he's fast and he's really skillful. But I think once Kakachi finds and settles down and becomes comfortable, I think when he starts turning the screw, the weight is going to play a big contributing factor in him getting him out of there. Whether he stops him or not, when I say get him out of there, I just mean I think he will sort of pull away from him. And I think that the power factor is going to. But I mean, I said that about Frampton, and he bloody wobbled Frampton after about 30 seconds, and had Frampton.
Josh loves one thing about Josh, I think as well. He loves the big stage. He really gets up for the big stage, so I think that could be a factor in it as well.
He said at the press conference, didn't he? He's got 12K coming down with him. They're all people that have been with him throughout his career. They used to deliver the tickets to when he was a dental surgeon assistant and stuff like that. He's got one. I'm with you. He loves the big stage. I think he's got one big night left. I have, based on form, picked him as my upset for this weekend. Don't know how big an upset it would be in the context, apart from Kakachi's last performance. I just think he's got one big night left in him, and it's a shame that the IBF belt isn't on the line, because I could have envisaged a scenario of Josh winning this fight and possibly being happy to retire. If he didn't do, would be happy to retire, because 3-time world champion. But now the IBF belt isn't on the line, then I'm sure he will bounce into another fight. If Josh Warrington
he might retire as the reigning IBO champion, mate.
Yeah, him and Chris Bank Jr.
He's glossed over that league.
I know. I saw what Jam said on the screen. Addy and Ariel have got a new show, haven't they? Premiere.
Yeah, I turned it off after 5 minutes of them.
I love Ariel for the MMA, but I'm not.
Yeah, he's not a boxing guy. He should stick to basketball. The only other sport he should do is basketball or NFL. He's amazing
at MMA. He really is amazing.
He's a man. He is the GOAT as far
as
MMA
the gold standard at MMA, but his boxing takes are questionable.
I've watched the MMA Hour. I've watched these shows with DC with Chael Sonnen. He's the man in terms of MMA content, but boxing. Nah, it's not for me. Him and Ade. I mean, it'll do good numbers. It's on DAZN. I'll probably watch a couple of episodes myself, but
I'll watch.
It was a bit of a love-in, the announcement I saw.
Big up Jam for saying you stick with us first. You know where the real takes are, my man. Big up Jam's boxing chat and big up Boxing Media Hub. Sorry, Lynn.
No, saying big up Jam. Ignore my dog in the background. I'll put her out in a minute. It's one of those things for me, like. It's another card. We said we want to see upsets this weekend. If you look at Josh Warrington's career, when his back's been against the wall, that's when he had his best performances. When his back was against the wall at Lee Selby, he was fighting at Ellen Rhodes, but no one expected him really within the game of boxing to beat Lee Selby, did they? The same with Josh Warrington. Everyone said Carl Frampton. Everyone said, well, he's a banger. He'll crack Warrington, and that will be the end of that. The end of that. He's always put his best performances in when everyone is writing him off. So I just think there's something in there. Don't get me wrong. He is older now. He is on a horrendous run of form. He's only beaten Kiko Martinez. But I just think there's something there on Saturday night. And it will be the fact he's fighting at Wembley. It will be the fact it's a big arena rather than fighting in Leeds. He said he's grown tired of the Leeds arena. I think there's something there.
He said he's fought there like 12 times. I watched the thing, his interview with Eddie. Jerry said the FD First Direct Arena like 12 times. So I do understand that from his point of view too. It's just returning, doing the same thing over. It probably is difficult in the end to get up for that. Jam said the IBO Eubank belt's on the line. Dan said, I think the IBF isn't on the line is the correct decision. I think it is, Dan. I agree. I just think the way it kind of happened as fans, we've kind of been sold the dream, whereas everyone behind the scenes really knew what was going on the whole way through, I guess.
We said it on Wednesday, didn't we? All three of us. We said we can't disagree with the fact that the IBF belt isn't on the line because Warrington's form doesn't deserve it. But why have we found out at the start of fight week when they knew at the start of August? That's where the issue is. There's no transparency for fans and for the people in boxing, really, is there?
No, definitely not.
No consistency in the IBF either, but we don't need to go into that.
Yeah, Dan says Ariel's painful to listen to. Jams, I did notice that he interviewed AJ straight away. Said it's been 4 years since you fight in 2018. Yeah, I had a good laugh at that myself. Jams noticed that at the time. Pat said Ante will take Josh. Will do his best headbutting, probably similar to the Lara rematch where it was called off, wasn't it? But yeah, Sugar Nunes obliterates a pair of them, in my opinion, as well.
I think he beat them both together.
Sugar Nunes is the boy. He's knocked everyone out. He's fought. He's an absolute killer. But let's get on to the main event. 20 minutes in. Let's have a bit of Joshua and Dubois. As expected, fairly subdued boys for the most part. AJ had a little bit of a pop at him at one point.
What was that inch and a mile thing? I don't.
So Addy prompted him about the incident that happened, when he talked about disrespecting him, and then AJ said, couldn't give him an inch or he would have took a mile. You're right. He goes, you can't give him an inch or he would have taken a mile. Isn't that right, Dan? And then Dubois was like, why are you talking? He didn't even know. Dubois didn't know what was going on. So AJ tried to kind of stick it on him a little bit, but Dubois just had no clue what AJ was talking about. Dubois seemed he just wanted it out of the way and done with. That was my vibe. He got AJ.
He was very
relaxed.
It was very vacant for me. It just wasn't there.
That's Dubois, though. I wouldn't, for me anyway, personally, I wouldn't read into Dubois' behaviour too much.
Nah, he hates the mic anyway. Dubois got the personality of a.
Yeah, he's not about that.
You're not getting sound bites out of him, are you? Even when he tried to start a fight with Joshua, it was painful to watch. Painful, because he was trying his hardest. Like he'd practiced these reaction lines in his head.
In the mirror.
and he was spitting them out, and they weren't in the right order, and he was saying the wrong thing. He might as well have just said, look, let's fight. Look, come on. I want to cause a ruckus to spice it up. He didn't really want to do that. He's not that type of personality, as far as I know. I don't know him, but
he's not. Frank has said that he's tried to push him into, the smack talk a bit more. You heard what he said to Baby Miller, which he literally read out in front of him before their fight back in December and things like that. He's trying to make him a personality, but it's not him. But on the flip side of that, how nice is it to see a relaxed Anthony Joshua sitting there at a press conference instead of the manufactured one with the beats around his neck and the Lucozade bottle in front of him that feels like he has to play out to the sponsors. He seems the most relaxed version we've seen of AJ in quite a few years. He's just there. He's answering the questions. He's doing what he has to do, but he's not then making sure that the Lucozade bottle's on the right angle so he's getting the money for that, or the beats are showing on his neck. He seems much more...
That says Apple. Anybody? Radiant Renewables. Just get the brands in. Sorry, later.
Jam said that was what happened as well. That was funny. He said AJ, he was asked about the sparring. AJ said that, he did catch me. And then Daniel Dubois played it down. He was like, I don't care what I did to him in sparring. This is a real fight now. And then he cut him up and AJ goes, as I was saying. So AJ tried to stick it on him a couple of times, but Dubois not interested.
I think I heard... I was listening to the radio this afternoon, and I forget who it was. That was on TalkSport, and it was somebody that was at the sparring, when they sparred.
Anthony Fowler said.
Yeah,
Fowler.
It wasn't Fowler I was listening to today. It was somebody else. It wasn't
Fowler came out last week and said.
No. I'm on about today. So on TalkSport this morning, it was Simon Jordan and Jim Spencer Oliver possibly. I think Spencer Oliver was at that spar. It was Spencer Oliver, and he said Dubois caught AJ. He said, but AJ tripped over his own feet. He said, so I'll tell you now, he did catch him and stun him. He said, but he slipped. He didn't go down. And I think
there's so many different stories. People have said AJ got carried out on a stretcher and all this.
Listen, it's irrelevant. I'll give you an example. My brother boxed for the British Super Featherweight Championship long time ago. And in sparring against the champion, Carl Johansson, my brother made him look like a novice, beat the shit out of him. My brother got stopped in 6 rounds. I think he got knocked down about 6 or 7 times because he thought that sparring was how the fight was going to go. Carl Johansson battered him, and I was gutted, but that's you can't take a lot from sparring. You're there to practice.
Dubois, fair play to him. He wasn't playing on it, was he? He was like, I don't care. It wasn't like you see a lot of the people like Willie Hutchison and Boatzy. I battered you in sparring. Dubois wasn't like I chinned you in sparring. Dubois was like whatever.
But that's as Dubois is that all over, isn't he? Dubois is laid back. He's calm. You're not always sure if he's fully in the room with you. Did anyone see him with Derek Chisora at the Grand Arrivals?
Yeah.
Chisora's talking, I'm proud of you being a world champion. Dubois is looking to probably pizza Hut over in the corner.
That was he even said to him, he said, "Look at me, Daniel. Look at me." And then 2 seconds later, he just looked away and carried out.
Chisora go to the opening of an envelope, wouldn't he? Bless him.
It was, but look, what was the point about Dubois is you can never read anything into him, what he does pre-fight, because what he's done on the night, especially in his last 2 performances, far supersede anything we possibly thought he was capable of. He's not going to look the most comfortable in front of a mic and in an ill-fitting suit that he's taken out of his dad's wardrobe, but he is going to look good when he's in his shorts with his gloves on Saturday night, and that's
true.
The reality.
I'm hoping that the hand injury was a nonsense, because I think a couple of people have said that he's got a bad hand injury. I can't see that.
Yeah, there's just rumours flying around. Like Dan's put up his. I saw Spencer Fearon saying about he had to beg John Charles to stay with him after the Usyk fight and all this. Like I don't know. It's all hot air for me. It's all just going around.
Spencer Fearon said a few things yesterday. He said Don Charles isn't here because there's been a massive bust up with Dubois' dad.
Loves it.
Reference the Usyk fight and then just after we'd seen Dubois throwing the right hand 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, I'm not buying into it.
Spencer and Tunde just love it, don't they?
Cindy loves it, loving it on X, isn't he? He'll probably do a watch along on Fight Night, won't he?
Yeah, Dan's saying that Spencer Oliver is another yes man. We're all yes men for the right price, though, Dan. If I were getting paid what
Spencer Oliver is a big AJ peddler, to be fair.
He calls him Josh. He don't call him AJ, he calls him Josh.
Yeah.
At least
if I were getting the money that he were getting, I'd be a yes man too.
True.
At least Spencer Oliver's a consistent one. He's done it since AJ turned pro. He's not suddenly
He's not jumping on a bandwagon. He's blown his trumpet since he were in amateurs. He knows him. He's from Finchley ABC. They're out of the same gym as such. I know Spencer's a decade before, but he's still part of that gym, the Finchley ABC. So it's not as though he's just jumped on a bandwagon. But yeah, I agree. He's a very biased, but everyone's got a price.
We'll find ours one day, boys.
Absolutely. A few more comments coming in. Jam says Spencer Fearon has been speaking about Dubois' dad's influence in the corners. Also rumours about the hand injury that we're talking about. Yeah, again, for me, I just hot air, I think, at the minute. Yeah. But, there's rumours everywhere this week. It's one of the most rumour-filled weeks that I can ever remember.
Yeah.
I'm starting to just not believe anything that I'm reading now. I just want to focus on the fight.
Well, I did that when I saw the hand. Somebody commented on a thread. Me and Notorious were doing my usual Thursday trolling of Notorious just because he bites. And somebody sort of jumped in and said, "Oh, anyway, he's broke his hand," and blah. And for a split second, I went, and then nah. I thought, nah, there's no way. And I think we spoke about. I think I asked if anyone had seen it, and then we all went online and. I don't believe it's true. He won't get medically passed anyway. And I've seen him throwing it all week.
you've got to think as well. So the hand injury, I'm paying no attention to at all. But Spencer Fearon bringing up the relationship of or the involvement of Daniel Dubois' dad in the corner. Lads, we could sit in our rooms right now and write an article about it because you can see it on the TV in your own eyes.
Yeah, that's not an insight, is it?
That's not an insight. That is just Spencer Fearon watching videos that have come out from during the training camp, watching back the last 2 fights and seeing Daddy Dubois there in his waistcoat banging on the canvas.
Yeah, but you do that. Listen, you would do that. My mum used to get escorted from ringside in the amateurs because she'd stand at the side of the judges, banging on the canvas, screaming at my little brother. It's what we do. I've done it. If my son was boxing, I would be the same. I'd be like John Fury, probably. Ripping the shirt off.
Oh, yeah. You never know what you'd be like till you're in the situation. Don't worry, Dan. We all fanboy over people. You know, we definitely pedal for certain fighters. I'm not the biggest AJ fan myself, but I have many a fighter that I'm biased towards. Normally the ones that come on the show, to be fair.
I don't fanboy over anybody, but I reckon Troy Williamson would beat AJ.
Big up Troy and big up Billy Nelson. He loves coming on to Martin McCauley and Lewis Crocker forever.
Yes, the boys.
But yeah, that is the thing at the end of the day. It's like, you're right. And it's no disrespect to Dubois at all. If he wants his dad to be there on fight night, you never.
Whatever keeps this right. If he needs his dad at ringside to keep his mentality right, then F you to anybody.
Fury's dad does what he does for Fury, costs him fights. If Dubois' dad is shouting stuff at him helps him, then good for them.
Do you know what it is I've noticed about this? Like you said, Sam, this seems to have a lot of. I know there's media hype anyway, but it's like the more so than ever, they're jumping on all these sidebar stories.
There's so many narratives going around.
Yeah, there's too many different narratives, and it's just the guys don't seem arsed. Just let them do their thing and let's fight. I'm not
Joshua Dubois don't care.
I'm not bothered if his dad's there or not. I just want them all to turn up healthy, all the fighters on the card, all to box to the best of their abilities, and everyone gets home safe to the families. I don't give a shit whether his dad's there, he's sacked Don Charles, he's broke his right hand. It's all white noise for me. If they turn up, I just want to see a good fight.
He's going to fight on Saturday. Wayne said this fight for a world title, but none of these fighters will be world champion. They haven't won it the proper way. Completely agree, Wayne. That's one of the only right things Ariel said tonight. He said that Usyk should still be the champion. That's my opinion. I think the boys are the same as well. This fight should not be for a world title.
There's only one world champion on this card, and it's Kakachi.
Yep. Yeah. And more to the point, if you listen to AJ this week, how many times you can count on one hand the amount of times he's actually referenced the IBF belt?
Yeah, he's not.
He's not. He knows what's up. He knows the truth. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. Him and his team will have 3-time world champion T-shirts on if he wins on Saturday night.
Not real.
Fantastic photos, but the fact that AJ is locked in enough to know, the champion is Usyk or Fury.
The winner should be number one contender, like they said, for Fury and Usyk. That's
maybe an interim like Buatsi and Hutchinson. Even an interim would have been better.
Yeah.
Dubois was interim, wasn't he? And then Usyk knew he was going to be stripped, so he said,
got elevated.
But
so
it's not a real world title. So we know it is, but in theory, it's not.
We know who number one is in the division. Unfortunately, the IBF couldn't wait till December to get their 3%. They had to get it in September.
Both men will be there, incidentally, on Saturday night. Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk will both be ringside for Anthony.
Usyk got bail, yeah?
Yeah, Usyk's posted bail.
God, nonsense.
That's just another. I know it wasn't a rumor because there was video evidence.
There was video evidence of that, but I think the thing you expect Fury to be there because it's Gold Star. Spencer Brown, his manager's involved with Gold Star, and I'll tell you why else they're both there. They're charging people with fight tickets £240.
Yeah, I heard that. Scandalous. 250 quid for a picture with Usyk.
Fury. And Shannon Courtney's on that list. Ricky Hatton's on that list. It's ludicrous. Yeah. So you can only go to Box Park if you've got a fight.
Shannon, did you just say?
Shannon
Courtney. Yes.
I absolutely. No, I just don't get it. I love that quote from Dan on the screen. It's so true. It's like boxing fans, and we are definitely most likely included in this. It's like an episode of Loose Women, a big boxing fight week. There's just handbags and gossip, and there's chat going around everywhere. And he's done this and she's done that. Oh, have you heard about Dubois' hand? Oh, Don Charles. I love it.
With our mugs of tea, just hold a little
flippers on.
We got to do that.
Oh, I love it. Wayne's asked about the Usyk situation. Yeah, does Jams, as rightfully said, mistaken identity or something like that.
I think they tried saying it was to do with immigration papers and stuff because he was in Poland. Was you coming through Poland?
He was coming through to the UK, yeah.
Yeah, and I think they were saying that his visa wasn't right, and I think it was that more than anything because he said they were respectful. The diplomats got him straight out, and yeah, I think it was just a much ado about nothing.
Yeah, ridiculous.
I would not pay $2.50 for a photograph with anybody. I'm not paying for a photograph full stop. I've never done it.
Who signed off on that decision?
I don't know.
Gold Star thing, mate. So Gold Star, you have to have a fight ticket to go to just get into Box Park's £40. So that's without getting any of this photo stuff.
Shame on them for that.
I've never done anything like that. I've got loads of boxing memorabilia, but I'm really weird about it. It has to be organic. I've never been to one of the meet and greets. I've never bought anything. I will only have memorabilia where I've physically met the person, other than Manny Pacquiao, but I didn't meet him. I know someone whose sister works for him, and she got me the stuff. I just don't feel it's right just buying shit. It's not. I like it to be organic. And there's a story with it. Then I met such and such at so and so, and I got this signed.
Right, lads. I'm on pickup duty for my mum, so I need to.
Yeah, we're Jam said that's our job, though, lads. If we don't get there first, it'll all be chew meat. Absolutely. Just lastly, before we go, as at Krakow Airport in Poland, original rumours. Fire. Yeah, exactly. Completely agree. Just quickly before we go, we'll be back tomorrow for potentially a live watch along for the weigh-in. So come and join us for that one. Big up Jay's Fight Talk. Go subscribe. Great show last night for the watch along with these two guys here. Liam Tully, Liam's Fight Night Picks. Make sure you check it out. And obviously at Liam_Tully9. Follow the boys on X. And
you'll see us every day. You'll see us three every day in some way, shape or form, either in trios, in duos, either on SW Fight Hub, Jay's Fight Talk. We'll be all over it. We're gonna do weigh-ins. We're gonna do pre-fight.
Jaime Munguia fight. We'll be there. We'll be there for the full Joshua card. We'll probably have some form of reaction live. Obviously, we'll be no punches pulled on Wednesday, but we'll have some form of where we'll cover it again. But we'll definitely have some immediate Sunday reaction for you as well.
We will.
Most definitely. Thanks, Pat, for joining us. Jams, big up. Dan Evans, big up. Wayne, thank you very much for tuning in. Everybody, I think I've covered who's been with us. If you haven't, I apologise.
Will Jaime Munguia be about 3-ish?
Yeah, about 3 a.m. Sorry, Jam. Yeah, Jaime Munguia, around about 3, half 3, probably in the early hours of Saturday morning. Only going for the main event. Jaime Munguia, Eric Bazinian. Be around about that sort of time-ish, mate. Yeah, big up, Wayne. Thanks very much, guys. We'll let you go because Liam needs to shoot.